Happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful mothers. Okay. Um, I'm on here early because I'm gonna go to church today so that I can go visit my grandmother's grave. Believe it or not, church starts at 11. That's kind of late, but yeah. So I just want to chit chat. First of all, about Finesse two times. He got all of his charges dropped, and I just want to encourage all of the wonderful mothers. Hey, Angel, the real boss. So happy Mother's Day to all of the fantabulous moms that do their thing. Okay. I was going to do a video about letting go, especially, hey, Tyranny. Thank you. When we're moms, because it's real hard for me to let go. Um, Thank you, that country boy from the 843. What area is that, love? 843. Okay, South Carolina. Okay. You're not Fat Boy, are you? Fat Boy has not been in here in so freaking long. He has not been in here in a long time, Fat Boy. But Fat Boy is from North Carolina. Fat Boy the trucker. Hey, Gerald. Thank you. Hey, Irvin Mack. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Gerald. I want to talk about Finesse, and I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful mothers. I was looking at something on Facebook. Okay, Cross, South Carolina. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Um, I was looking at something on Facebook, and someone had posted, "And Happy Mother's Day to all of the single fathers." Absolutely not. You don't use Mother's Day to salute the single fathers. Single fathers, whether they're single or not, they have a day called Father's Day. And that's why I don't like it when women do that, like on Father's Day. If their child's father is not in their lives or whatever, they're mad at them. They go, "It's Happy Father's Day to me." No, it's not. A woman can't be a father, just like a man can't be a mother, right? So I wish people wouldn't do that. Um, but thank you all. I wish all of the mothers the best. Just a happy Mother's Day. The things that mothers do. Like I think about when I was younger, having two daughters that was almost 3 years apart. And I think about it now, and I look at my granddaughter and I'm like, oh my freaking God, how did I do it? Because my girls were always busy, running around, busy. They were happy. I just don't know how. I don't think I could have without my mom. I had my sister, my mother, and my grandma. They helped me, okay, as far as keeping them and being supportive, you know. Thank you, Nola girl. The same to you. As far as the support financially, I wouldn't have been able to do it either if it wasn't for them, along with my father. So, everybody, I think as a mother, like I was talking about letting go because I've always like smothered my girls. When I became an empty nester, I was devastated because I was devastated that my girls didn't want to live with me because I just had this thing about I thought my girls were going to want to live with me until they was like 30. So it was just devastating to have to let them go, you know. But most mothers are like that, right? Um, so to be most moms are very resilient. He says, respectfully asking for my own knowledge. Is it Mother's Day for two females in a relationship with kids in the house? And if so, is that confusing to the kids? Yes. I mean, they're both mothers. Hey, Diane, happy Mother's Day. Yes, they're both mothers. You see, with two females in a relationship, I know one is, I guess, supposed to be masculine and the other is supposed to be feminine. But I mean, I know I'm gonna probably gonna make some people mad when I say this, but I mean, they are still two women. I don't care how much a person wants to be masculine. If you was born with a JJ, use a woman, okay? As the country people say, use a woman, okay? You can use as many dildos. Y'all don't give stop, okay? Because y'all know how I be getting. Then folks get mad, but I mean, I just be getting a little ghetto, but I don't be meaning no harm. But I mean, it's still Mother's Day, okay? They got ovaries. If you got ovaries, if you can carry a baby in your belly, if you got a vajayjay, and some people don't know that they are a woman, but if you born with a damn hole down there, use a woman, okay? A hole instead of a stick. I think I went too far, Dick Country Boy. See, you got me started, okay? Anyways, but happy Mother's Day. Okay, happy Mother's Day. That's right. That's a mother. She's a mother. So let me just go because that country boy, I probably gave you more than what you asked for. But those are two mothers. um, yeah. I think that when I come back on tonight, he was getting on the plane. Oh my God, Nola girl. So he was coming or going. I had just flown in from LA. So were you in Memphis, Nola girl? So you saw Key Glock at the airport in Memphis last night. The community got on me behind that question before. Really? Well, I mean, I think, with these platforms, people. Oh, okay, in Atlanta. He's been on tour. He's been on tour. Shout out to Key Glock. Key Glock has been, hey, Gray Face. Key Glock has been doing very well. And we just ask, God to cover him because, when people like Key Glock do well, I think some of these people have a real demonic type, like evil spirit, like that jealousy spirit on them. And so when they start seeing them doing well, Key Glock don't seem to be holding back. He's showing his personality. He's number one. He just doing the darn thing. Okay. He the Prince of Memphis. And so it just seems like when, people get really mad and that spirit of that demon spirit of murder tries to rise up in them. But any demon that tries to take out another person because they're successful, okay, we just pray for, we just pray for them for God to allow something to happen to take them on up out of here. Okay, some people got to go when they are evil, like they are, don't want to see people do well. Sometimes some people just got to die out. There's their demonic force on this earth holds people back. Okay. So some of them just got to go. Okay. Let them go by their damn selves, either two. Okay. He says, I'm a dog fan, so I definitely support Glizzock. Shout out to Key Glock. His album showed his maturity on this last album. Yeah. And he seems to be healing well and in a really good place. Um, I know a young lady. Well, I'm not, of course, my cousin April, we're cousins on her dad's side, right? My cousin April is my cousin on from her dad's side, and we've always been very close. Key Glock is her cousin from her mother's side. Key Glock's mom and my cousin April are first cousins, right? Their mothers are sisters. Yeah, their mothers are sisters. And she said she remember when Key Glock's mom was pregnant with him. And she said Key Glock's mom asked her, I don't know what to name him or something like that. And she said she told her, name, why don't you name him Markevius or something like that? I think that's his name. But she says that she's always said that he's really good to his grandmother and them. But another young lady that knows somebody that's really, really close to Key Glock that's actually, really close to him. And she talked about how he really when he said he was in a dark place, it takes him to a dark place. It's funny he said that because the young lady that I know whose son is very close to him says that she said he really held Dolph in high regards. Like he was, and she said that like a year ago. She was like, he's not doing well. Like he really just held Dolph in high regards. And she said some more stuff. I don't want to get into that because I know he's private and all that, but about how he was grieving, right? And still grieving. But to see him showing his personality, and doing interviews and being happy, and I could see they try and steer him in a place to talk about Dolph, and I see it's healthier for him to talk about him for a little while to show his respect and then go in another direction, because it does take him into a dark place, um especially when you feel like a person was killed for nothing and the people that did it have not been gotten yet. Well, that called it, the ones that did it are in jail, but the people that called it is not in jail. He says, me and my son went to see Glock in Myrtle Beach about 2 years ago. And my son is Glock #1 fan because I put him on Dolph and he continued to follow paper route just like me. Yeah, shout out to Key Glock. And happy birthday, Chat Town finest. Happy birthday to you. I would sing happy birthday to you, but I don't know how. I probably would sound like, Marilyn Monroe, when she tried to, or Puffy. Remember when Puffy, tried to sing happy birthday to, he sounded like Marilyn Monroe when she sang happy birthday to the president. And then he tried to sing it to Fabulous. He sounded like Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday to you. What's up, the Alabama hitter? Nola Girl says Glock was on Cam Newton podcast. Cam slipped, I assume, and said where Glock recorded. I bet Glock moved that studio. I hope it was a slip. I hope it was a slip. I hope it was, because he know better than to be dropping his location. Why would he do that? And Glock going up, we'll know if something is brewing when he starts signing maybe an artist from Memphis, because it's something about Gotti. He's so twisted. When he wants to, he'll start because he ain't really signed nobody from Memphis in a long time. And I think it's because people from, trust me. But when he just abruptly maybe signed somebody and then they start throwing shots, especially from the Memphis area, because he understands that unfortunately a lot of Memphis artists, because they're struggling so bad, or Memphis dudes that want to be into the industry. They want to get into the industry so bad. He understands how poverty stricken Memphis is, the areas to go in, and he watches when he seeks out those that he knows that's really desperate, that he can sign to go at somebody for some money. Okay. So if we ever see him sign another Memphis artist and he come in being grimy, it's probably to try to go at Key Glock, okay? Because he'll do that when he sees an artist rising. Now, he's probably been a little satisfied because they have put a lot of money behind Glorilla, and Glorilla is doing extremely well. I don't know if they're breaking even. Okay, maybe they're making a profit off of her, maybe they're not, because when they put a lot of promotion behind Glorilla, which means they spend millions of dollars on her promotion. Okay. But I be wishing Glorilla to do good, okay? Because I never speaks ill about her, because I do like Glorilla. Okay, I like her music. I love the fact that she is from Memphis and she is my kids' age. I can't sit here and be a 40-something-year-old mother that Glorilla is younger. My youngest child is thank you, Jacqueline. My youngest child is 23 or 24. I be forgetting their ages, okay? I believe Glorilla is younger than her. I believe she's younger than her, okay? So I can't sit here and talk illy of a young lady, and I've raised girls and validated them and told them to be the best that they can be, and all of that. As a mother, that's why you don't ever hear me say nothing bad about Glorilla. As a mother, I just can't do it. Okay. Greyface says Glock doing what the other side can't do, interviews. Although he said no more interviews since people tried to twist his words when mentioning Dolph, almost all were recorded before the album dropped. Yeah. I'm glad he's showing his personality, and it has worked out extremely good. He's giving the people the opportunity to really, he's really just reintroducing himself. He is. He's reintroducing himself, and I love that. Thank you, that country boy from the 843. Shout out to South Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. You all make sure y'all hit the like button. Um, anyways, let's talk about Finesse 2 Times right quick, okay? Finesse 2 Times is out. And now I do know that when I did the video yesterday, Finesse had gotten one of his charges thrown out, which was the terroristic threats. And so, Lord Jesus, y'all, Finesse is crazy. I said, I hope if Finesse get out, that he don't get out talking shit, that he just get into the music. Hold on. Because it is his personality and all that shit he talk. That is what is messing him up, okay? Making people not like him. Hold on, let me see if this is the video. So I guess it's gonna be this one. Hold on, you all. No, he don't like his freedom. He be trying to don't get me started talking because you know ooh.
I don't even understand what's going on. Y'all in the feds, they don't understand, right? You hear me? Y'all so little boy, y'all don't get this shit, man. This shit different. You don't understand this shit different. Like, man, you got violations in the Fed, but everything dismissed, man. To all the haters, man, 250 back, man. You hear me? 250 back, that's all that matter, man. You hear me? Everything dismissed, man, from the state to the Fed. Man, they ain't had nothing but hearsay. That's all they had. Just put me in the blender. But see, this is where they had me at. This is where they had me at. Now, I know you said you wanted to ask me something. But look, where they had me at, right? In the petition, on the violation, right?
Yeah.
It say that I said I was gonna shoot her in her face and I showed her a gun. So okay. Now come on, everybody in the world know. Come on, what do that to a 69-year-old lady for? What kind of threat is you like? So boom, that's what would have got me up in the feds. So you got to understand, all my prior histories, my prior history consists of violence and guns. So they would have just deemed me guilty all off of my history. I wouldn't have been guilty in the feds. I just would have been guilty of the violation in the feds. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You see, that's the difference. I would have been guilty of the violation, but I wouldn't have been guilty of the actual charge, if you understand what I'm saying. Man, shout out to Carl Moore, man. You the truth, my boy. My boy Carl Moore, man, Houston, Texas, man. He can't slam that, man. That what going on. Everything dismissed, man. We back on the bricks. Man, you heard the judge. The boy say, man, the violation carried 2 to 5 years. Man, I'm shaking like Elvis. You hear me? I'm in there, shaking like a stripper. You hear me? I said 2 to 5 years. So damn, they finna slam. Boom. Come to find out, they had the wrote up the wrong way. The judge come back, throw the whole out, dismiss the whole violation. Then the lawyer come back, they dismiss it in the state, and man, it's up, man. Come on, man, that's what's going on. So yeah, man.
How many more days of probation?
They told me they want me to finish. I gotta go to May 30th. I'm done. May 30th, I'm all papers, man. That what going on, about. Real talk. Yeah, they got me. Every time they count me out. They held me up. And then I told them folks, man, pull up on me with that. Who can't pay no lawyer? Your greasy man can't pay no lawyer. You talking about, yeah, you ain't got nothing but a parking ticket, bro. Quit posting me. Tell them post this, man. Tell them folks post that, man. Tell them folks post them yams, man. Yeah, man. Them yams, man. Yeah, this ain't the cap racks, man. This ain't the cap racks, man. Tell them folks post that, man. I told them folks pull up that shit, man. You hear me? Come on, man. Who can't afford no lawyers? Come on, man. Nigga better suck my. Quit playing with me, man. Quit hating on finesse, man. This shit ain't healthy, man. You hear me? And man, and to let y'all know, man, the drops for next weekend, man. Iowa, we coming at y'all, man. We live next weekend, man. St. Louis, man. The show goes on, man. St. Louis is up. Iowa is up. Where else we got? Is Iowa, St. Louis, Illinois. So you know I'm coming to Chicago with it, man. 250. I'm back, bitch. So yeah, hey man. Oh yeah, so yeah. Put your bitch back up. Yeah, put your bitch back in the house while you just. Oh yeah. I been heard. I heard. I like that. But yeah, man, I'm one of the chosen ones.
Lord have mercy. Now, why couldn't Finesse 2 Times just get out and put all of that energy into his music? So basically, doing that, showing his money. I don't know. It seems like to me maybe he trying to play in the face of law enforcement. I think a lot of these boys, but they so damn stupid. If they would just be quiet especially when you think that you won. Okay. Don't he know that law enforcement look at stuff like this? So when you put stuff out like that, it makes it feel like when you try to make people think that you can beat the government, they lay on you and wait to show the public that you just said that too in so many ways that they can't, that you can't win, instead of just going quietly, going onto your shows, helping to just build your reputation back up. Because Finesse single-handedly messed his own reputation up. Ain't nobody else did that to him. His mouth. Okay. So when Finesse first got out, like I said, everybody was rooting for Finesse. You know, he was doing this thing when he was saying, "Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone." I knew then he couldn't take the public. Okay. And then he started to feel himself. It's good to feel yourself, but do that in the booth while you're putting out music. What he's doing is a damn oxymoron, because he's hurting himself. He's single-handedly destroying his own reputation, and Finesse is talented. So you get on there, leave me alone, just let me do my music. But instead, he wanted to make people think he was a pimp. He went and got some weak-minded women. And I guess he thought that would help to build him up, and it didn't. It helped to tear down his reputation even more, because the men that he, I guess he would think that he is showing out to, hell, a lot of these men be more, they ain't feeling that either. Okay, really. That's why he always stay into it with men, because they don't really feel him. Okay. So he gets on his platform and he does that. So I can only imagine that he'll probably be into something else. Now, King seems to be out of the way. He says that he ain't messing with King again now. I don't really, Finesse 2 times seems to be, not seems to be. We know he's stupid. So I can see, just like I think they set him up with, because he never should have had King that close to him. King is still a baby. He never should have. He ain't Finesse 2 times is institutionalized. So King never should have been with him. So he allowed Moneybagg and them to make a damn fool out of him. And who knows? It probably was a setup, because they know his personality. They've been around him and they know what he will and won't do. And sure enough, King, as they said, deboed him. But King is still a child. I think he signed King. He went and got King for the wrong reasons, and the wrong followed him. I know he didn't expect to get any good out of it, because what they're doing is exploiting King. And so that kind of backfired on him. He exploited them women, but those women want to be exploited for some money. That backfired on him. Everything that he does backfires on him, because he's stupid as hell. So he gets on his live as soon as he get out, talking about his lawyer was able to do this, and that. Okay. And I mean, his mouth said that's probably going to backfire on him. Instead of getting out, saying, "I'm back out. Now I'm back out. I'm going into the booth to make some hard music. Here are the dates." Some people don't know when to quit, and he don't know when to. So the internet is the Debo of social media. It is. So anyways, I'm glad, I'm happy he's out. I said last night, I hated to see Finesse 2 times in jail, because he is talented and all of that good stuff. And I did say, I said, I hope if he gets out, he does not run his mouth. And he did just that. Okay. So, he creates his own karma. He creates all of that bad karma and bad luck and stuff that follows him. He kind of creates that with his damn mouth. His mouth, his energy, and his actions. Okay. So, you know. But y'all know what I was thinking about. I don't know why, y'all. Listen. I don't know why it is. And let me just say this, because I don't want nobody to think nothing. But I just don't know why it is, y'all, because we was talking about that last night. I don't know why it is that I've had a renewed interest, like, and I'm not gonna talk about it, because we're talking about other stuff. I'm not getting ready to do an overkill or anything, but I just have some type of renewed interest in seeing what will happen as it relates to Hernandez Govan's trial. I have a lot of anticipation to see all that's going to happen in that trial. Okay. Um, I have a renewed interest and anticipation in seeing what's going to happen with Teasy and with Juke. I don't really think Juke's case is going to be solved anytime soon. But I have a renewed interest. And so I'm just going to be watching to see what law enforcement what kind of rabbits they pull out of their hat as it relates to those two cases, you know. Both Gray Face trial. I would like to see what's going to happen in the trial and who's going to be coming in and out of that courtroom. I ain't gonna be in the courtroom or nothing. I don't know who's. I don't listen. I don't know, because I'm gonna just say this, because I don't know anything. I don't know nothing that's gonna happen in Govan's case. I don't know. I don't know who, what, why, when, or where. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I have a interest in it, right? I have an interest just to see, because there's, Govan's case has been one of those cases that nobody knows anything about, nobody knows what's happening with that. I know I don't. But it's going to be interesting, because I would think that, his lawyers paid close attention to Straight Drop's trial. And this is just in my opinion, and they're going to try to do things differently, probably, because Straight Drop didn't have not one witness, no expert, nothing. Okay, so that's why I say I wonder if they're going to try to do things differently. I wonder. I don't know. I have not heard that they are. I'm raising questions like everybody else would, for a person that don't know anything. Because when I don't know something, I like to just put it out there. That I don't know, because I don't. Greyface says feds took over Juke and Teasy's case. I tell you, it's interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because, especially when you start, especially in Juke's situation, when you start talking about crossing state lines and all that, they took away all the anticipations I used to have waiting for Dolph to drop an album. Yeah. I hate that this happened to Dolph. I really wish that I'm just talking about all of these young men that was involved. I hate that Juke was killed. I hate that Teasy was killed. I hate all of this stuff. I hate that these young men put themselves in positions where they have to go to jail. I hate this. As a Black woman, it does not give me any gratification to see all of this destruction. As it relates to Black men that had the potential to earn money for their families. Most women look to their men to guide, lead, protect, and provide. And one thing that we see with the majority of these men that was involved in this, they had that potential to provide and lead their families, right? And unfortunately, they decided to they just didn't use great judgment, right? There was other ways to get money, okay? There was other ways to get money, but unfortunately, they hey. I think some people like Juke, for instance. Let me just stay on Juke for a few minutes. I don't know why. I just kind of want to stay on him for a few minutes. I think with somebody like Juke, okay, and we know that Juke was not a innocent person, okay. Unfortunate. Well, I don't want to get into all that. But I will say this, with somebody like Juke, sometimes they allow their loyalty, um, to lead them to the grave. To the grave. And I do believe that it was Juke's loyalty that got him involved in a whole lot of stuff, and then led him to the grave. Okay, to an early grave, unfortunately. Um, a lot of it he probably wanted to just do on his own because of learned behavior, and he had that griminess in him. But I think loyalty, as far as this situation right here, led him to the grave because Juke, even though he egged on a lot of stuff as it relates to Dolph, in the beginning, Juke did not have any issues with Dolph. Okay. When as I keep reiterating, when they was hidden at Dolph in the beginning, you didn't hear Juke's name. Juke was not the one that had them hidden at Dolph in the beginning. Okay. So you just have to keep that in mind too. I don't say a lot of bad things about Juke because Juke, has children and stuff, and he carries a legacy too, and he has minor children, and so I don't like to be disrespectful to the dead either, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they come up with, or not what they come up with, but what word am I looking for? What they show us. Yeah, what they show us. Yeah. Christian says, "Good morning, Tamara. Just hit the like button. Thank you, love." Great Face says, "Quet will give up Gotti if you go back to the Stan G interview. CMG was something he couldn't talk about because of the case, and this was before the trial." Great Face says, "Straight Drop's lawyer also told us that Quet signed a proffer, which means he cooperated with the feds." See, hey, Nika. See, Straight Drop's lawyer put all of his eggs in one basket. Okay. And I don't know if that was the craftiness of Paul Hagerman, which, listen, I'm an investigator. For many years, I took private cases, and I worked with a lot of grimy investigators. Whereas, as far as our clients were concerned, that's why I'm glad I don't do private cases no more. Okay, I work for the feds. So leave me alone. But so it's much more smooth. But when I was out there in the private sector, I worked with a lot of investigators that were there was just no fairness in war. It was always the war of the roses. I'm telling you. We didn't break any laws because they knew how to do things without breaking them. But they sure had me stressed out a lot because I like to do everything in decency and in order. Okay. And I remember an investigator. He used to actually he was one of the ones that trained me. And he used to be he's a retired FBI agent, and I never forget. And we're still very good friends. And I love him though. And I remember he said, "Let me tell you something, little girl. You always talking about this," and it hurt my feelings because y'all know I cries about anything. Then I cuss folks out. And he was like, "You always talking about this." He said, "Let me tell you something. If you're gonna be doing this, it ain't no fairness in war. And you better remember that." Okay, they was grimy out there. So when I said that to say this, Paul Hagerman, I do believe, led Straight Drop's attorney to believe that quit would be called. Okay, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that that's what happened. He probably didn't tell him that. He probably led him to believe that Quet would be subpoenaed and called. So if Hagerman had questioned Quet, then Straight Drop's attorney would have had to cross-examine him also. I think that Straight Drop's attorney, Hagerman, led him to believe that so that he could put all of his eggs in one basket. They didn't call not now witness. Okay. Because he felt that I'm going to create reasonable doubt. Cornelius has already gotten up here and told us what Quet did. So now when if they put Quet on the stand, I'm going to create reasonable doubt and lead them to believe that it was Cornelius and Orange Mound Quet that was out there with that weapon, rather than Straight Drop and Orange Mound Quit, and then Hagerman didn't call him. So that's why you heard Straight Drop's attorney say, "Hey, I'm not the prosecution. I would have loved the opportunity to examine and question, put Quit Hernandez Govan on the stand, but the prosecution didn't call him." Right? That's why he said that in his closing arguments. Okay. And I think that Hagerman, that was a astute move on Hagerman's part. Greyface says Snoozy Cake, Luke and Paul were working together. There were few objections during Paul's questioning of witnesses, and when Luke got up there, he gave information that a defense would give freely to the public. That a defense would give free. Hey, I am She Johnson, and happy Mother's Day to you. Maasai Girl says happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you too, young lady. Luke could have called Quit though, right? No, Luke couldn't call Quit. Now he couldn't subpoena Quit. He couldn't. Now, if Paul had subpoenaed, the state had subpoenaed him, then it would have been open season. So if Paul subpoenaed him and called him up there and questioned him, then Luke would have been able to also question him. She said, "I'm at work 12 hours today." Ooh, Lord Jesus. Well, don't work too hard, I am She Johnson. That's a long heap of hours. 12 hours. Lord have mercy. Nika says, "Thanks, Greyface, for keeping us updated." Yeah, shout out to Greyface. Greyface is the GOAT. Okay. Greyface is one of the GOATs on here. When I remember that Rest in Peace Young Dolph used to come in here and give us gems and stuff all the time. And he used to give us gems and stuff all the time. And then Rest in Peace Young Dolph kind of disappeared on me, hurt my feelings. But Greyface shoot, Grayface slid right on in, okay? And Grayface will stuff that I don't, be knowing. Grayface, he'll reach out to me and he'll reach out to me and let me know. She said emergency room is slow today. Well, hopefully the emergency room stays slow. Hopefully y'all don't have a whole lot of heap of people to come up in there, especially on Mother's Day. Maybe people, I don't know what Rest in Peace Young Dolph is. I don't. A great face as well, Miss T, that tells us that Quet and Straight Drop Attorney weren't seeing eye to eye and working against each other. Well, they was definitely working against each other because I think Luke got up there and said some stuff about him. I think Luke got up there and said some things about. He basically wanted to say that he wanted to pin it on Orange Mound Quet and Cornelius. Okay. I think that's what he wanted to do. Pin it on Orange Mound Quet and Cornelius. You all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Okay. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. But it's going to be interesting to see how all of this works out. How, if it's going to be a trial. Because, hey, a person can decide all the way up until they can decide at any time that they want to plead out. Okay. They can decide that they want to plead out. And I'm almost sure in Tennessee laws, like even if there is a trial and you start seeing the abundance of evidence, that the attorney and the prosecutors can then go behind closed doors with the judge. And my client wants to see if they can work out a deal. And I mean, that it happens. Yes. So I just looked it up. I thought that they could. It says plea deals. I'm looking at Tennessee. Plea deals are often used to resolve cases before they reach a trial, but sometimes defendants can or may need to consider entering into a plea agreement in the midst of the trial. I thought that could happen. So, I mean, people feel like, well, it's getting closer and closer. Then, I'm telling y'all that it happens. That trial can go on. They start throwing all that evidence out there, whatever they got. Okay. Especially if, they start waiting closer to the trial and say, they start adding witnesses. And in this case, they might do, you never know. Okay, well, we're gonna hold out, and then when it's the day before the trial, we'll let his attorney know and the judge know that we were able to get in touch with a witness. And oftentimes that happens when they're trying to protect witnesses. They don't just give the defense everything. They have to give them everything, but they'll wait, okay, so that the witnesses don't go missing. So that's why I said I knew that could happen. Like in the midst of a trial, they start seeing all that evidence and stuff. They might say, no, I tell you what, I want to go ahead and plea Can you ask the prosecution? Can you talk with the prosecution to see if we can come up with something? And then I think they have to take it to the judge. And oftentimes, no judge says no if something can be worked out. Okay. If something can be worked out. Thank you, Snoozy. So, yep. Anyways, it's going to be interesting to see, you know. I would think though, I don't know, Straight Drops trial was the shortest trial I've ever seen. Um, yeah, it was the shortest trial that I've ever seen. I would think that his trial wouldn't be, if it's going to be a trial. You all make sure y'all hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, Lord. Anyways, you guys, I got a question though. How can the state hold trial against Quet if he signed a proffer? I don't know, because in those proffer agreements, it's called a queen for a day, right? Or something. I think they call the proffer agreements a queen for a day, which means you get to say whatever you want to say, but it can't be used against you. I think that's how it works. Isn't that how that works? They can't bring it up in the trial or something. He can tell them what happened. I think, right? Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. So whatever it was that he said to them in a proffer agreement, they're not going to be able to bring it up. I think they call it queen for a day. I think that's the term for it, queen for a day. And so you get to tell law enforcement and the prosecutors, you tell them information, okay, as it relates to a criminal investigation, but it cannot be held against you or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it won't be used against them. So what usually happens, I don't know what happened, I don't know what Quet could have said to them, but what usually happens is in situations like that. They make them queen for a day. If it an Dolph's in the case, this investigation as it relates to young Dolph is still ongoing. So usually when stuff like that happens, they give, law enforcement she said yes, but we don't know if he broke any agreements of the agreement. Well, that's true too. We don't know. We don't know what he said to him. I would assume that he didn't. I would assume that he didn't incriminate himself. So, when they do those proffers, they would probably help with an and with guidance in an investigation, without incriminating themselves, I guess. Let's just say if it was I'm assuming, an open investigation, and it's still an ongoing investigation. So if you know something about that investigation, you can give them information, I guess, with um and guidance on some things that happened, on some questions that they asked, and then it can't be used against you. And nobody knows, what went on as it relates to that. It says Quit pretty much admitted to his role, which isn't mastermind, and gave up the mastermind, which was who? Got it right, because Juke's role was given during trial. They never called Juke mastermind. No, they didn't. That's true. They never called Juke the mastermind. They didn't. They never called him the mastermind. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. He said Quet pretty much admitted to his role, which isn't mastermind, and gave up the mastermind, which was who? Okay, I already read that. Okay. They labeled them number one and number two for a reason. Right, because they said that they kept saying that Gotti was the second. That Juke was the second in command. They did keep saying that, right? Juke was the second in command. Yeah. I tell you. You all make sure y'all hit the like button for me, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App or Super Thanks or all of those good things, okay? It says if Diddy knows anything, I'm sure he would tell it for leverage. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm looking at something. Okay. They said finesse 2 of them. Hey, it's more. If Quick goes to trial and gets on the stand, he is going to air Gotti out. He ain't going down by himself. At Great Face, you think Quick milking Gotti for money now to keep his name out of it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, though, you guys. It is. It's going to be interesting to see. How everything turns out. I'll be having phones going off everywhere. Don't be knowing that. Well, not now. Not now. Because I have one in my hand and I put the other one ring. I'll put it down somewhere and then they get to going off and I don't be knowing what it is. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me, okay? I said please like, share, and subscribe. I would open up the lines. Like I said, I don't know why, and like because a lot of people have started to like move on as it relates to the Young Dolph's case. Of course, when the trial happens, I'm sure they'll have a renewed interest. But Orange Mountain Quet's trial does not have the anticipation that Straight Drop's trial had. It doesn't. And it could have been because, Straight Drop was more flamboyant. They knew that Straight Drop was one of the shooters. Okay. But so as it relates to the public, you don't really, and it could be because it's been 4 years. I don't know. I didn't know that they was gonna throw out all those bombshells day one in Straight Drop's trial, but I think because of the mysteriousness of everything as it relates to Hernandez Govan's trial, I think that's probably why I have a definitely an interest in it, seeing what's gonna happen. It says God and Not Fooling with Quet hasn't been since early 2023 when Quet dropped their lawyer and got his own. Remember, Gotti told Moneybag change your number. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree because that Massey guy was definitely one of their. Massey and Art Horn is connected. Massey and Art Horn is two and one. They're two of the same, rather. It says if Quet decides to take a plea, I need to see that paper. Mm. Lord have mercy. They said they need to see the paperwork. Mm. Timmy 21 said she gonna go online and buy all the paperwork. Jesus Christ. Hold on, y'all. Guess this is a good time to give me some more coffee. Hello. Thank you very much. On a Sunday? By who? Never going to church. Because because I because I thought you was I thought we was gonna go to dinner. I thought we was gonna go to dinner. All right. Well, I'm gonna call you when I get off live. Thank you, Demario. Demario. I don't be want to say people's name. I be forgetting. Thank you, Reginald Johnson. It's an Indigo. Yeah, he ain't passed the smell test. We all know Bag was guilty after he signed with CMG after he blow up off Dolph's feature. I tell you. That coffee's so good. Yeah, I've said, y'all know I'm a coffee fanatic. And I went into Aldi's. Okay. I went into Aldi's. Now, Aldi's is my favorite store now. Okay. And Aldi's have all of these different coffees. I like to try different coffees. I'm a coffee fanatic. Okay. And they had all of these different brands of coffee. And I bought this coffee yesterday called the Three Sisters. And the flavor of it is so freaking good. I'm trying it this morning. It is so good. I'm working 12 hours too. Yes, not a lot of people in the emergency room today. Angel the Real Boss, are you a nurse? One thing about the hospitals and the jails, they never close. Yeah, I'll never forget. One time I was working I was working overtime. I went down to the processing area in the jail and was working in the booking window. And when the officers bring in suspects and people that just arrested, if they're sick or any bruises, any cuts, or any of that, they are when they do that, they're supposed to take them to the emergency room. Okay. And I'll never forget, I was standing in their window and they came in and this guy had a towel wrapped around his hand and I could see the blood coming through. And I asked the officer, I said, what's wrong with his hand? And he said, oh, he got into it. He got into it with the guy and something about because they had arrested. I don't know why they arrested him. They arrested the other guy too. And he said they cut his finger. They had cut 3 of his fingers off, y'all. I almost passed out. He had to take the towel off of his finger. I almost passed out. I said, I cannot book him in here. Get him out of here and get him to the emergency room. And y'all, the man, it was a older black guy, and he was just smiling. I know he was in pain, but he was just smiling. I said, oh my God. Y'all, I almost passed out standing there. That was the most grotesque thing that I had ever seen in my whole life. And the idea that those officers were so damn lazy, they didn't want to go. See, if they take them to the med, they have to sit at the med with them. They didn't even I never forgot that. It's like, oh my God. It was just so Lord have mercy. She said lavender oat milk. Now, I've never seen lavender oat milk. I'm gonna tell you what I did buy though. It was my first time seeing it, but I am starting to see like them putting more lavender in stuff because I go to this sometimes I have this craving and there's this new place around the Memphis area downtown called Seventh Brew. And so whenever I go to Seventh Brew, I be trying to pass by Seventh Brew, and I get to look and I was like, oh Lord, they have a cinnamon honey bun latte. Okay. And sometimes I get it's hot, I have to get a hot one. And so the young lady was like, would you like to try it with lavender? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know about that. But what I did a few days ago, I bought some, I had a craving for some donuts, and I saw cinnamon lavender donuts, and I picked them up and I tried them. It was pretty good. You couldn't really taste the lavender and all of it, but it was pretty good. I see now they're starting to put more lavender. I don't know if it's organic lavender or not, but they're starting to put more lavender in foods, because organic lavender is supposed to have you rest easily, calm you down, all of that good stuff. So I didn't eat all those donuts. I decided, I said, Lord, because they were pretty good. So what I did was I got me some I threw them in the garbage. I was like, Lord, because I'll mess around and I eat them all. And so since I'm on my weight loss journey, I try not to deprive myself of a lot of things. So what I'll do now is I buy a small little thing of them and I'll eat like one or two. And I get to looking at them, like, I need to throw that in the garbage. And I throw it in the garbage. I don't know if it's a waste of money or what. But when I drink my coffee and I have my sweeteners and I get coffee with flavor, and so I put my creamer and stuff in it, like not the flavored creamers. I don't even buy the liquid creamers anymore. I just buy the dry creamer. And I went to She Johnson. I go to different stores like Marshalls or TJ Maxx, and I'll see they have like those skinny sweeteners, liquid, and they taste so good. It has no sugar in it at all. And so I go there because I'm fanatical. And when I see, I try the flavors and I see and they're all really good. And I'll go into like a TJ Maxx or like a Marshalls or somewhere like that. And then I'll just buy the shelf out. And I got a bad about doing it. And so now I got all of that sweetener up under my cabinets. Okay. And so now that it's coming in handy because now I'm really on my workout eating healthy kick, because I'm fanatical. Like, I do have a weakness for coffee, and I was like buying all those sweeteners because I remember when I got up there to the counter, the lady said, did you leave any? I said I had tried them all and I liked them, and I just bought the whole damn shelf out. Okay. And she was like, because she was like, do you have a store or something? I said, no, I just put them in my house. So I got enough. Now that like I said, I'm really on my health journey. Now that I'm really on my health journey, they come in really handy. I put a little bit in my coffee, and I like to buy coffees that, I think they come from like mom and pop little companies, and they taste really good. Because when you see them in Aldi's, like the coffees and stuff that you might see in Aldi's, that you might see in Big Lots, you don't see in like Walmart or places like that. So that's why I think they come from like mom and pop companies, and they taste really, really good. Like, I was somewhere and I ended up buying this New Orleans company coffee that's in there. It's strong as hell too. I'm telling you, it is strong. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. I know the girl says the actress Issa Rae has Hilltop Coffee Shop in LA. I had a good coffee with lavender oat milk. Oh wow. Oh. And you know what? I had always said when I retired, like when I finally put my badge down, okay? Because for some reason, I just love being an investigator. I think if the people that is around me, like that really knows me, um eh, um and I mean, I ain't okay. I don't have a badge. Let me just say that. But when I finally, retire from my profession, if I ever do that, I want to own a coffee shop. I do. I want to own a coffee shop, and I want to a coffee and Danish shop, and it's definitely gonna happen. It is. That's why I love to try different coffees. Coffee is so therapeutic. I'm getting more into. I don't even like tea like that. Okay, I don't even like tea like that. But um, yeah, I don't even like tea like that. But I'm getting more into trying different teas and stuff. Um, Cause I think having like a coffee and Danish shop would be so therapeutic. I remember I told my sister that she was like, "You having a coffee and a tea shop? That's so you, cause you so snooty." She said, "You a broke snooty something." I was like, "Yep," cause I sure don't have the money. But but yeah, that's if I ever stop being an investigator, because that's my personality too. That's my personality too. When people get to know me, they say that too. You know what? That fits your personality. You remind me of one of them damn police officers or something. I don't think that I would I don't think so. I worked for the police department. I don't think I have the personality of a police officer. I don't. I think I have the personality of what I am, an investigator, because it's different. I think my situation is more of a calling, because God has gifted me with the charisma to really identify with people, to have people feel very comfortable with me, and people don't mind talking to me, and that is such a blessing because they understand I'm not out to get them. Like, if we talking, I want to help you. Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to help you. You all, make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Okay, make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Try matcha. You know what? I got some matcha. It's green though in there. And I don't know if I'm supposed to put some flavor in it, but it was really bitter. I got some matcha in there because when I got it, it was supposed to be healthy. And I tried it. I don't know if I'm supposed to put flavor in it or what. It's that Chinese matcha. Hmm. You all, make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe, okay? Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't hit the like button. But yeah, you guys, no, 4. Hold on, y'all. When numbers come through, I don't be knowing who numbers they are. So what I have to do is I have to run them. Let's see. 3, 5, 4. Hold on. I'm so paranoid. Hmm. Mm. Thanks. The same to you. I ain't heard from her in a long time. Use oat milk or whole milk. You know what? When I buy milk, I either buy oat milk or almond milk. And I've learned how to make it organically now. I've learned how to make it organically. Y'all, I just became a YouTube queen, child. Figure out how to make everything organically. So now I know how to make, I don't know how to make oat milk, but I know how to make almond milk. She said, my next destination is LA. So you're going to live in LA? LA is so expensive. LA is so expensive. She said, my next destination is LA to retire. LA is very expensive. Nola girl, you're not going to believe it. And I know you're going to think I'm crazy because you're from New Orleans, but I love New Orleans. I'll be going down to New Orleans in August. To you know, spend some time with my friends. But I love, like, when I'm in New Orleans, I love it. I love like the culture, the feel of it, to be able to walk out of walk out of my hotel. Now, I got a hotel, but they don't like the fact that I have a hotel. One thing that I see about know about the people in New Orleans is that, like, when I say that I'm gonna come, they always go, they find it offensive for me to get a hotel. Like, but why don't you just stay here with us? Why don't you just stay here with us? I'm like, but I want to get a hotel. So I got a hotel in down at the casino. And yeah, I got a hotel at the casino. TB21 says I already put it on. But I be loving it. The food is so freaking good. Um, I see that they love to cook, so I have so much fun with them. And when I leave, I feel like I haven't, just like when I'm in New York, I feel like I didn't stay long enough, you know. And it's funny because last night, just out of nowhere, I know you remember um Nola girl, the case that happened in New Orleans with Rogers Lacaze, where Antoinette Franks, remember the police officer who called herself, when she killed another police officer, and she wasn't even supposed to be on the force. It happened so many years ago, right? Go to Marathon Burger 2. That's Nipsey Hussle's place. His brother opened. Okay. Nola girl, can you remember that case with Rogers Lacaze and Antoinette Franks? Okay, so she said her ex-husband was a cop. So I was sitting here last night. It's funny how God do things. Because, okay, so remember when Mac, they used to be with No Limit, when he was in jail, I ended up doing like an interview with him when he was in jail, and his mom and his dad ended up coming to Memphis. They drove to Memphis to my studio, and I did an interview with them. There's an interview I did with Mac's mom that I never put out, and I still got it. She's a painter, she's an artist, and she is so talented. What she does is because she and I was gonna do like a little documentary together. And what she does is she paints um for those that have been wrongly convicted, right? And I remember when she came to Memphis, y'all, excuse me, when she came to Memphis, because we all know that Mac was incarcerated for something he didn't do. Same thing with C Murder. C Murder didn't do what they say he did. And so she had all of these paintings that she painted because his family is very talented. And so, and I remember her saying, she pulled out, she was like, this is Rogers Lacaze. And I remember I had looked at A&E. It was so many documentaries on that case, right? And so I said, this is the young man that is guilty and blah, blah, blah. She was like, no, it's so much stuff that you don't know. My phone is going off like crazy. She said, there's so many things that you don't know about that case, right? So of course, I started looking into it, and then she got me in touch with Rogers Lacaze's mom. Rogers Lacaze's mom calls me all of the time. Miss Alice is such a great person, and I became very, very close with Mac's family. Like his auntie and I are like the best of friends. His cousins, his mom, his sister, all of that, right? And so, so when I go to New Orleans, I be with them, right? So, anyways, I was just sitting here last night out doing some research because I'm nosy. I'm always tapping into the Pentagon, looking at some. And so, as one of my friends say, you be tapping into the Pentagon on the damn computer, looking at stuff. And so, my phone rang, and I thought it was one of them because it was a New Orleans number. And I said, who am I speaking with? He said, this is Rogers. This is Rogers Lacaze. You haven't forgotten me, have you? I said, no. Oh my God. Because remember the first interview he ever did, he did with me. And of course, he and I had some conversations or whatever, but Rogers was actually set up. I'm not saying this because I've talked with because I adore his mom, or I've had the opportunity. I know jail talk and all of that. We ain't never, he got a girl, it ain't nothing like that. But I've had the opportunity to go and do research. Not only that, whenever I do research on stuff, especially when there's some doubt about something, I go and get other investigators that is way more experienced than me to go behind me. I had 2 more investigators because I wanted to make sure I was looking at everything with a fine-tooth comb, that I was not missing anything, that went right behind me and said that there was corruption and there was definitely reasonable doubt. Not only that, but the Chinese people, the Asian people that had that restaurant, the judge, okay? It's so much stuff that people don't know. People don't know that restaurant was what they was. I don't even want to talk. Y'all, look, people are not ready for that, because then it makes it seems like, and what happened to those people was absolutely heinous in nature. I hate that Antoinette did that, but Antoinette was with her brother who she was trying to protect. Okay. Her brother, when the weapon was found, her brother was found with the damn weapon. Okay. She didn't want to give her brother up. So she said that it was Rogers, and the Asian people didn't know any differently. Okay. The gun that they had, the judge that was in the case had released the gun to Antoinette. Y'all, it's so much stuff as far as the corruption with the judge, the police department at the time, because of what was going on in the back of that Asian restaurant that never came out. And people don't like to talk about it because you don't want to make it seem like that you're bashing the victims. No, nobody should have ever been killed. But you have to talk about what was going on in that Asian restaurant, and them damn politicians was coming through there, such as the judge getting served. So, it's a lot of stuff that did not come out. That young man has been in jail for 30 years for a damn crime he did not commit. So Antoinette ended up writing Rogers Lacaze a letter, letting Rogers Lacaze know, listen, you didn't do this. I don't know why they arrested you. He said he was having sex with her. Yeah, he was driving a police car. He was 16 years old. He said he was 16. She was older. She was giving him sex. She was giving him money. She was letting him drive the car. And he was selling drugs. But to pin this on this boy, and you know that it was your brother, Adam Franks, that was with you, that killed these people. the family of the police department, I mean of the police officer, you know, rest in peace to him. My heart goes out to them, but they don't want to hear anything else because to them, you know, listen, it was just a black person. We just want some justice. We don't give a damn rather he's guilty or innocent. And I wouldn't be saying this if it was not true. So it's a lot. Okay. And so I had not talked to Rogers in about 2 years because he and his mother used to call me a lot. And then, like, out of the blue last night, I was sitting here tapping into the Pentagon. Okay. And he called my phone. And he sound good. He's always had a strong mind, very positive and stuff. So I'm praying for that brother. He's been incarcerated for 30 years for a crime he didn't commit, just like C Murder is in jail for a crime he didn't commit. Now, let me just say this as it relates to C Murder. Rest in peace to Thomas, the young man that was killed. But you know, his brother, I'm very disappointed in. I'm talking about the young man, Stephen Thomas, that lost his life. His brother had been in and out of the justice system. His brother, I believe, know that C Murder didn't do this. Okay? These people were coerced. They got on TV and they said it. The evidence shows something else. But I think that it's beneficial to him at this point also, and because C Murder didn't say anything, they feel like, well, since he didn't say anything, this is his punishment. I'm surprised at his brother, and if he want to have a conversation with me, he can. I don't back down. I come with facts. That's why I'm a damn investigator. Okay. Now they're suing C Murder. I believe with C Murder, with what they say about C Murder, you talk to Mac and his family and all of them, he was a giver. I believe that if C Murder was able to get out of jail, you can't get turnip blood from a damn turnip. If the man had the opportunity to get out and make money, I believe that he would give them the money that they are suing him for in a lawsuit. Okay, if he could get out and make money. But I think it's a darn shame that he's even in jail based on if they feel like, well, this is his karma because he knew that his mans or whatever they call him shot Thomas, okay, Stephen Thomas, and he didn't say anything. Steve Murder has been in jail for 20-some years. That's enough time for anybody, if they feel like he should have karma, to have paid their karma and be out with his damn family and kids. Okay. So I'm surprised that Stephen Thomas's brother, not the fact that he's hurt, but the fact that he knows that C Murder didn't do this, and he's still pushing this particular agenda. Okay. Now, okay, I was ready to say something. I'm gonna leave that alone too. Auntie, have you seen When the Levees Broke on HBO Max? It was extremely sad. I almost cried watching it. Yeah, I've looked at all of that. When the Levees Broke, after the levees broke. Yeah, when you listen to when you talk to, I'm gonna tell you something. One of the reasons why I love, like, I became, because I'm not, it's not easy for me to get close to people. I sympathize with them, but with Mac's family, they were so real. I'm talking about especially his aunties and stuff. We stay in contact with each other. I love them so much. Okay. But they said that C Murder is such a giving, nice person. Like he's very supportive. Mac's mom, who's a painter, she's always, selling her paintings and stuff, says that, when C Murder had gotten out, when he was out for that little bit of time, he was coming and supporting her and buying her paintings. His auntie was saying how supportive he was, like he was just a giver. A lot of people look at him as being the worst one, but I guess he had more heart for the people in the street or whatever. But yeah, I hate that. That's why I say, Stephen Thomas's family has a wrongful death lawsuit against him. They can't get no money out of a man that's stuck in jail for a crime that he didn't commit. I mean, in order for them to get their money, he need to get out of jail. And I do believe that if he had the opportunity to make his money, because if he make music, they gonna buy it. I think he would gladly pay them whatever that lawsuit is. Sometimes people, shoot. What my grandma used to say, they cut off their nose to spite their face or something. And listen, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be upset. A young man lost his life. Rest in peace. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. That's their loved one or whatever. But I believe that they know that C Murder didn't do this. They were okay. I don't want to go too deep into that because I don't want to sound insensitive. Because when I say things, it's not me trying to negate the fact that a young man was killed or omit how important it was, the importance of his life. Never would I ever in my whole life try and do something like that. I'm not that type of person. But at the same time, you have to understand another man's life who did not do this has been taken from him, all because he's a celebrity. And you have to reap what you sow. I believe that they know he didn't do this. They know he didn't. You've had people to come forward to talk about the corruption, and that sheriff that was in that Jefferson Parish County who had it in for him. He dead and rotten now. Okay. All should have been dead. Okay. Because thank you, nothing. Thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate that so much. Notice that C Murder had a publishing company. He may have sold it. They probably want his royalties. But you know what? They probably want his royalties, but time has gone on. It's been a long time since C Murder has made like a lot of hits. So even the hits that he had, the royalties are probably slowed down on that. He probably is not getting as much. Okay, but I mean, if the man got out, they want to keep him in. He been in jail all this time for a crime he didn't commit. And I believe they want to keep him in because they feel like he did not snitch on his friend. He knew who did it and he said nothing. I think that's why they want him in jail. But even still, I think he has paid his retribution. That's long enough. And if he get out, that's the only way they can get their money. Okay, he got to make some money to be able to pay for their lawsuit. And I don't think they would have to sue him. I think he'll give it to him. Okay. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Okay. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe for me. No, the girl says, I'm gonna keep saying it. He was the sacrifice. When Mac went to jail, y'all know I just keep talking about this, okay? I'm thinking about the injustices that our African American men who try to obtain some type of success have to go through, okay? So Mac had never been to jail, never been in any trouble, was really a conscious rapper, right? And then he signed with No Limit. I mean, he's talented, okay? He's talented, he's handsome, he's all of those great things. And so I remember when Mac's family came to Memphis, my heart was just really it just really, it hurt me, right, to see how his family had been fighting for him. At that point, it was like 17 years. Um, and because they knew that their child didn't do this. So what I did was I went and I told Mac's mom, I said, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm going to one of the top attorneys out there is Leslie Ballin. And I'm gonna get Judge Joe Brown, who is retired now, to see if they will come and be on the show that we're gonna do. And so when I reached out to Leslie Ballin, I'm gonna tell you how corrupt they is down there in New Orleans. You can't even trust the lawyers. Leslie Ballin is one of the best attorneys in the world. One of the top attorneys. He got out that's that Wrinkler, Mary Wrinkler lady. He was one of the attorneys involved in getting off um, those West Memphis 3 guys or whatever, Damien and them. We know they did it. Okay. Anyways, he got their stuff. He was one of the ones that got that reversed. He's just he was one of the best. He's one of the best out there. Okay. He's gotten older now. Okay. But he still, you can't take away the knowledge. So I reached out to them. So Leslie ended up reaching out to an attorney in New Orleans that had he represented Mary Winkler and got her off, him and Steve Faris. And we know damn well she killed her husband because she said her husband was raping her, and that lady said all types of stuff. And then she got off and still got his money and insurance and all of that, you know. And so anyways, he was like, yeah, sure. I was like, you know what, if you do that, I'll, you come on the show and I'll give you like I'll do you a commercial or advertise. He didn't need it because he was already rich, you know. So he was like, yeah, sure. He looked at it. He was like, he called me back. He was like, yeah, this was a big case down in New Orleans. And I think it sparked his interest, right? So he would be emailing me about some stuff. So then he ended up calling, at the time, an attorney that had said that he would voluntarily represent Mac, right? And it really, when I talked to Leslie again, that attorney didn't even want to talk to him. He didn't want to talk to him. He had said some stuff to him as it relates to Mac's case, which kind of let me know that, a lot of those attorneys in New Orleans ain't to be trusted because they work with, they'll snake you. Okay. That they'll snake you. And so when he asked Leslie not to really say anything as it relates to the case, as I'm gonna pull it up, I want y'all to see Leslie's energy because Leslie was ready to go. And the boy could have, oh, don't get me started. Hold on for a second. And let me show y'all this. If I could find it. His energy had totally changed because of the attorney that was supposed to have been representing McKinley Phelps, right? You know, hey, I do know that Louisiana's laws are different. But when he got there, his energy had changed. This when he can this is McKinley's mom.
Said that they were made to come in and identify your son. I mean, I kind of get shocking to think that an agenda would be on the table and to take a man's life from him for no good reason and to make people testify.
He was letting it be known that there were people that was made to testify. It would have been a great thing at that point to reach out to those people again. You get an investigator to do that. But his energy had totally changed because the attorney asked him not to say nothing. Okay. And then the attorney turned around and told him, well, it's really just a lost cause because in the state of Louisiana, once there is a conviction, it can never be overturned. Well, but then why did you make his family think that you was fighting for him? Because one of the things that could have been done was consistently that attorney putting out publicity, letting them know, look, this is what we found out. We know that our client was set up, and the boy was set up. So you had a Judge Joe Brown, that he went over everything. And so Mac's security at the time was his auntie's boyfriend. Okay. And so a couple days later, after Mac's father spoke with him, because he was the one that actually shot the guy, Mac was on stage performing when the shots rang out. And so Judge Joe Brown says that, I mean, what the security guy said was credible. He went and he told the truth, right? He went and he told the truth, and they wouldn't take his statement. They would not. They basically let him go, and they just wanted to incarcerate and charge Mac, and they took 21 years of his life. You know, Judge Joe Brown says that even when he was on it, he said that never should have happened. What the person that actually shot him said was credible. The guy said, I shot him. I was Mac's security. I shot him because he was coming at me with a bottle. I was in fear, so I shot him. So it would have been looked at even as self-defense, but they just wanted to incarcerate a young man for 21 years and took his life, really because I believe that they wanted to extort Master P. Okay. So even in this C murder situation, I kind of feel like at a time that's what they wanted to do, even with him. Now that time has gone on, a lot of the people that may have wanted to extort Master P, they've croaked over and died. They don't want to reverse what they've done because now they'll be looking at a lawsuit from C murder. It's really just sad the way that they have taken the lives of and messed up the lives of these young men who did not do this. Okay. It says after Cain and Abel was released from prison, things weren't the same. Yeah, they wanted to. Mac's mom told me, she says that Mac's mom says that the parish that Mac went to jail in, the prosecutor, the district attorney who ended up being incarcerated about 4 or 5 years ago for corruption. Finally, can y'all imagine how many black men that he's effed over? The prosecutor, the sheriff, and the bail bonds guy were all related. And so Mac's mom says that in the beginning they was trying to extort Master P, I think for like $500,000. He go take the bail bonds guy $500,000 or $250,000. That was back in like 90, whenever Mac went to jail. And she said, I hate to really get into that because she did tell me that off of the record. But I think he was gonna pay it or something like that, and then he thought about they would continuously extort him or something like that. It was a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes. Because remember, Max said in the interview that on that very interview that when they came and got him from his house, one of the police officers said, "This is Master P." And the other officer said, "No, this is one of his artists." And the officer said, "Close enough. Handcuff him." So, it's just sad. They've been allowed to get away with this for so many years. The man lost 21 years of his damn life where he could have been out, had a family, been a multi-millionaire. I'm talking about Mac because he is a poetess. He is very smart, and C Murder too. So it's just sad. It is. It's hurtful too. Black men that could have been out procreating, helping to create generational wealth, helping other people to eat and create generational wealth that would have been connected to them, and they did this to them. Mac is now out, but 21 years is a long damn time to sit in a jail for a crime that you didn't commit, and I think they still got him on paper. C Murder is still in jail, and Rogers Lacaze is still in jail. Rogers was 16 years old when they took his life. They know he didn't do it. But from my understanding, they allowed Antoinette Franks to frame Rogers. This is why they did that. Antoinette Franks and these police officers was doing so much corrupt stuff. Antoinette was very close to her brother. She already had an effed up life. So she told them if they go and arrest her brother, if something happened to her brother, she was going to tell everything, all the corruption and stuff that was going on. That's why they went and did that to Rogers. So when Rogers' mom gave the district attorney the letter that Antoinette had written to Rogers right after this happened, and Rogers was really mad at his mom for a very long time. His mother said, "I thought that I was helping my son when I gave the letter to his defense attorney and the prosecutors." She said, "I thought I was helping him." They disposed of the letter and told that lady that she never gave them a letter. They had proof where the letter had came from the prison that Antoinette was in when she told him, "I'm going to take care of this. Your name shouldn't be in this. I'm going to let them know that you had nothing to do with this. I'm going to tell them the truth." And they disposed of that letter. And Roger's mother was hurt for so many years. It caused, it really, hurt their relationship for many years, because he says, I told my mother not to trust nobody yet as it relates to that letter. And she gave it to them without any proof. She trusted them totally and then make copies. People don't think to do that. An older mother and all of that, you think the justice system is going to work for you. And they told her, they disposed of that letter and told her, she said she never gave us a letter where Antoinette Franks was telling Rogers that I'm going to clear your name, that you didn't do this. I don't know why they're, putting you in this, because he didn't understand at first. The boy admitted to he was bad. He said, yes, I drove the car, the police car, because she was letting me. What 16-year-old that's already out in the street, if you call yourself dating an older woman that's supposed to be a police officer that's giving you money, you having sex with her, and she said you can drive the police car? I mean, he said, yeah, I did all of that. So, I mean, when you start looking at a lot of the like the A&E documentaries and stuff, they do embellish on a lot of these cases. They embellish, because some of the cases, especially when I was around and I was working in the investigative bureau with MPD, like some of these cases, even on the first 48, it looks like it took 48 hours to solve these cases. It would take, like, the first 48 hours. I remember when they first came up there, they were from out of New York, and one of the guys used to always sit up there in the front and talk to me all the time, right? He was an Asian guy. He would always talk to me about, they was there for months and months and months getting footage and video, and he would always ask me about, sit up there in my office asking me about good places to go and eat and all of that. So it would take them, they didn't solve those cases in 48 hours. Sometimes it would take months. Right. Antoinette had she failed the mental evaluation. She was applying for the police department and she kept failing the mental evaluation. And so then what she did was she went to her own doctor, her own psychiatrist, and had her psychiatrist to give her a mental evaluation saying that she passed. And the New Orleans Police Department accepted that. I for the life of me, I can't understand. The New Orleans Police Department really needs to be sued for that. That girl was crazy. Because remember, they ended up finding her dad buried up under their house. She had killed her dad and she was still getting his Social Security check. Her and her brother was robbing businesses. Like, it was a lot of shit that went on that they covered up. NOPD didn't want no lawsuits and stuff, so they definitely covered a lot of that stuff up that girl was doing. Probably because a lot of those other officers was involved too. Because remember, that was around the time that NOPD was New Orleans was the murder capital. And a lot of the police officers were very corrupt because they were the lowest paid in the country. Like, they topped out at like $13. Even back then, I couldn't understand how in the hell a police department could ever top their officers out. And you talking about the murder capital? I'm gonna tell you, I don't mean no harm, but the folks in New Orleans I don't mean no harm now. The thugs in New Orleans are different type of crazy. Okay. They're a different type of crazy. So I can't understand how they would ever top their officers out at $13 an hour. So I think it caused a lot of their officers to do, they was more involved in criminal. They was robbing more of the drug boys. Hell, back then, I don't think the drug dudes was scared of another drug guy robbing them. They was scared of the damn police robbing and killing them. So they was making their living not by being a police officer. Well, they was using the badge, but they was making their living by robbing drug dudes and setting them up. Would I say that MPD is any different? Yeah, just based on, like, well, at this point now, I don't know. Nola girl. because I get to thinking about the police officer that killed the guy and threw the guy in the Wolf River. I think the newer officers that they have coming on now have a lot of mental illness. They're young and they just want the power and a job, and they're mentally ill. So I would say the newer, fresher officers that's coming on now, yeah, they might have that mentality. Yeah. They're gang affiliated. Because remember now, you cannot reject the application, just police application, just because a person is gang affiliated. Because remember, somebody took them to, it went to the U.S. Supreme Court and the person won. So you cannot refuse to hire that. And that's what's going on now. With the reason things are so wrong now, you can't refuse to hire a person just because, to be a police officer, just because they are gang affiliated. And so I think now a lot of these young dudes is gang affiliated. They are dropping the locations and giving the addresses of their so-called ops to their gang members. And I think that's what's going on. Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much. Yep, I tell you. But She Johnson, I'm definitely gonna give me some. I'm gonna try that lavender, because I don't know why haven't I seen lavender oat milk? I haven't seen any lavender oat milk in the store. I'm gonna have to try it though. I am. I'm gonna thank you for telling me. I'm gonna have to try it. Yeah, she said most of those got, and Antoinette didn't pass. So everything that Antoinette did, I think the only reason, okay, so Rogers Lacaze had gotten the death penalty. Don't y'all know they quietly converted it to life in prison? Because they know he didn't do this. Like Roger said, they wouldn't have, they feel comfortable with giving me life in prison. They just, I guess their conscience would have eaten them up, giving me the death penalty, killing me for a crime they know I didn't commit. I know, it feels like fall outside. That's what I was saying. Like, normally in May, it's so freaking hot. Normally in May, it's so hot. It seems like we're getting April's weather in May, because normally it rains a lot and it's chilly in April. Right. And they make money off of those prisoners. So it's just, it's a lot of stuff going on. It's just really sad what is allowed to go on. Let's see. According to your cutting back on certain stuff, is Steven okay with? I think I've been doing good because normally when I say that I'm doing something bad, Steven gonna send me he gonna either text me or send me a message on Facebook. So thank you, JT Logan. He said Happy Mother's Day, Tamara, all the mothers in the chat. Thank you so much. So when I'm doing bad, he must not be in the chat because normally he'll send me a message and say, so you ate some donuts, huh? I think I'm doing good though, because I have been, losing regardless now, and that's because I don't really eat a whole lot. My weight is consistently going down. I got on the scale this morning. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Hey! I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so y'all know, like we have, because I don't want to say what my weight is, okay. But that second number that's in your weight, it has gone down to a totally different number. That's how proud I am. It has gone down. It has dropped the number. The second number has dropped the number. So I was like, yeah, that third number really means nothing. Okay, you be happy to see that third number like go down some, but that second number has dropped down to a totally different number. I was like, yes. I almost didn't want to. I made me some coffee and stuff, and I was like, dog, I know I got to go to dinner today for Mother's Day. I was like, oh, that second number has, oh my God. So I'm scared to eat. I'm almost scared to eat something because I know it might go back up a number. It might go back up, which means it'll put me back in the other number. So I was like, anyways. Do y'all believe Jay-Z was not able to get those loans, as some podcasts have said? Yeah, I believe so. I kind of believe Tasha K because I've always felt that way. You have to think about, be quiet. You have to think about now, Jay-Z and them have I guess they live off of borrowing money and all of that. And I think that when you're investing in businesses and stuff, you have to have money to do that. And so Beyonce will sell out an arena before Jay-Z would. People still love her a lot. She put on good shows. And I think anytime that there is some real debt that they need to pay off or something they want to invest in, I think she go out on the road. I do. But hey, they are a team. Okay, so if she can make it, why not do it if she's up for it? So anyway, y'all, I got to get ready to go because I got to be at church at 11:30, and then I got to go have some dinner for Mother's Day. But listen, I appreciate you all getting on. I might get on tonight. I know I said I was going to get on last night, but I be getting, y'all know I be into everything. But hopefully I'll have the opportunity to get back on tonight if I'm not too tired. I love you guys. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers all the way around the world. I love you guys. Thank you to the guys that are very supportive of their mothers and of their wives, of their women, of their daughters. As mothers, we are the models of our households, and we thank those supportive men for allowing us to be good models. It is their support. It is their support and love that allows us to be the mothers that we are, those good men. Okay. And what you guys, I love you guys. We'll talk later.